Dooby dooby doo. Dooby dooby doo. Come on, show me my video. It's not showing me my video. What's up with that? I guess I've got video going on. I don't know. There we go. There we go. Now it's loading. Hold on. Come on. There's a pretty boy. Yeah. There's a nice looking guy. Hey, everybody. What's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking? Let's start getting our sports on here. We got a lot to cover tonight, and especially we've got a NLCS game on. It is looking like it's going to go to the top of the next inning here, and it's still Atlanta 1, LA 0. Atlanta pitching is lights out tonight. LA pitching has been good, but I don't think Bueller has the control he normally has, and that's bad news for LA. He's gotten out of a couple of jams, but that can't last forever. Ooh, that was a close play at first, but the correct call was made. So we'll get into it here a little bit. We'll go over the playoff game currently on, and the Dodgers are losing 1-0. Atlanta's up in the top half of the fifth inning right now. Hard to see from this distance. It's not a good, not a great little box in the corner. It's not that good on Fox. It sucks, as a matter of fact. It's really awful. So we'll do that. We'll talk about Joe Morgan a little bit, who passed away today. Morty Vickers here. He says, Merc. Rosie Williams is here. Everybody's here. And there we go. Yeah, Merc. It ticks me off sometimes. You know, you tell people we don't talk politics here. They keep doing it. Been doing it for a couple weeks. I've been pretty nice about it. Then that crap where you're not from here and you want to tell me about from here, better watch it, man. I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that guy anymore, though. So, you know, it's easy to be snarky. It's real easy to be snarky. Don't really hear me commenting on the lesser nations of the world too much politically. Figure it's their business. Don't like it also when people move over here from other places, no matter where they are, and go, well, in my country, you ain't in your country. Okay? So... you think I go to vacation in Europe and go, oh, I don't think the beer they serve here is... I don't do that. That's your place, not my place. Wouldn't go to your house and do it either. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's have us a nice sports night. Chargers are up on New Orleans, and that does not bode well for my picks this week. We'll get to it, but... I thought last week was bad. Nothing like this week. Nothing like this week. Let's see here. Got two more places and then Twitter. And then we'll get to the sports. There's that one more, and then Twitter. And, yeah. That's what's going on. Here's the one more. And UFC. I want to talk about... there's one UFC story. Oh, by the way... I saw a brutal finishing spinning kick. I'm going to depend on Rosie and Morty to remind me who it was, but I saw that in the highlights and went, ooh, mama. That was a finish. That was a finish. And I don't mean from Finland. I mean, ooh, mama. Morty Vickers said that was so good. It was. It was that was some virtuoso stuff. That's one of the best spinning sidekicks I've seen in all of my UFC days. Let's see here. We got live streaming. We got sports. We got sports talk. We got come on. Braves. Dodgers. We got MLB Playoffs. Oh, by the way, the Lakers won the NBA championship, but it's like I don't even feel like talking about it because it was so obvious it was going to happen. But way to go, Lakers! Let's see, MLB playoffs. We'll just do MLB. We'll do NFL. We'll do MNF. We'll do MLS. We'll do UFC. Anybody got anything else? I might do a little lights out, says Rosie. He caught his leg and he gave me the other one. Yeah, he gave it to him. All right. He gave him an up close and personal look at that one. I don't know how many of you grew up with Joe Morgan doing the feature baseball game of the week, but yeah, it's a sad day. For those of us who followed the Big Red Machine back in the day, oh, I better Get Them Beans on Rosie on here. Get Them Beans on Rosie. I'm sure you guys are not having beans tonight, but that's the tweet that just keeps on giving. Anything else? Real quick check. No, let's see here. Hey from Nashville, says Stephanie Lindley. Stephanie, I appreciate that email you sent me. Or Facebook message, I should say. And there we go. And in case you couldn't tell, that ignorance is bliss. I get it, remark. Man. Morty says, we did, Tom. Hey to the lovely and knowledgeable Rosie. Yep, she is knowledgeable, that's for sure. LA has tied it up 1-1. 0-1 count now. Swing and a line shot off the glove of the pitcher to the shortstop and thrown out at first. Okay, why don't we get on the shtick here and go ahead and get this baby started, shall we? Here we go.
Tom was a white male. Always invited to the cookout.
Always.
but he spit straight hot fire. Okay? You said who is the best commentator on Facebook Live? Tom.
Because he spit hot fire.
Because he spit hot fire.
Yo, he even got the last name. And let me tell you this too. Tom potato salad good.
Mm-hmm. No raisins.
It ain't bland. No raisins. No raisins.
I don't care who owned the Chiefs. I hate it here. Make me sick. My allergy. Puke every time. Blah, like that. Puke.
You're a goalie. You're supposed to be like that.
Somebody owned the Chiefs. We go to Florida and I get the money.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Let me answer that. You know, that is an absolute crock of You know, you people in the news media, all of you dwell on some negative piece of like that. And I don't know how Steve feels about it, but it just and you don't have to bleep one single word of this.
That it doesn't work for me. I gotta have more cowbell.
Hi, I'm Jim Harbaugh of the Indianapolis Colts, and I recommend that you wear a helmet while listening to the show.
Good Monday. Hope you had a great sports weekend. We got stuff going on right now. It's 1-1 in the fifth in that NLCS game between the Dodgers and the Braves. A blast by the Dodgers tying that up, and out it went. And the Braves pitching, which has been stellar, admittedly against two teams not that great at scoring runs, is holding up tonight. Fried is really pitching well. Buehler's gotten out of some jams. 5 walks, but he's gotten it done with the strikeout. And we'll see how this one progresses. It is a tight one right now in the top. Still bottom of the fifth. 2 out, bottom of the fifth. So we'll keep you apprised of that. Chargers are leading New Orleans. Oh, there's a smash off the third baseman's glove, and that is going to go for a single. So 2 down, a man on first for the Dodgers. Chargers up right now. It's halftime. The score is 20-10 over the Saints. Doesn't bode well for my picks this week, which were... I thought last week was bad, but I think things are going to be worse this week. We'll see. We're also going to talk a little bit about Joe Morgan. The two-time MVP and a World Series champion who passed away today at age 77, and a famous broadcaster as well. And then we'll talk UFC. There's a great UFC story I want to talk about, and we may recap that UFC event from this weekend. So a lot on the plate. We might as well start getting to it. Glad to have you here tonight. We've got an all-star lineup in our chat room. We've got Morty Vicker, Rosie Williams, Stephanie Lindley, and let's see here. Morty Vicker says, I'm not friends with Ms. Colbert, or I would share her too. She seems to like the Sports Spectacular. Stephanie says, I really like Ms. Colbert. Tried to find her on Facebook. I like her too. She's awesome. Dolores. So maybe we'll make sure tomorrow in the other show that she shows up for this one. As I mentioned earlier, it's halftime of the Monday Night Football game. Chargers up on the Saints 20-10 in New Orleans. And so there you are there. End of 5, LA and Atlanta deadlocked at 1. So that's a tight one. That's a tight one. Pitching ruling the day. And I got to say, Atlanta's pitching thus far is really much better, but what can you say about Los Angeles? The pitching is really gotten out of a few jams and it's still 1-1. So it's anybody's ball game. The Lakers winning the NBA championship 106-93 in Game 6, taking that series 4-2 last night, and the celebrations went wild, but who didn't see that coming? I think we all knew that was going to be kind of eventual. And that's what was going to happen. Let's go to the NFL and let's recap the games and my picks, which I think for starters, I took Atlanta over Carolina. And Atlanta lost again. Dan Quinn fired today, as well as the GM. Let's go to Las Vegas, Kansas City. I took Kansas City. Vegas won that one. Let's go Arizona, New York. That was an easy pick. That was New York sucking up the joint again. Arizona took that one. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. I took Pittsburgh over Philly, and that turned out to be right. The Rams over Washington. I took the Rams in that one. Baltimore over Cincinnati. I took Baltimore in that one. I picked Houston over Jacksonville with the bounce of the new coach. Teams get a bounce when that happens. Miami thrashing San Francisco. I had taken San Francisco. The Colts and Cleveland, Rosie and I, tears streaming down our face, man tears in my case. Cleveland beating Indianapolis. Let me just put a little smack right there. Dallas and the Giants. I picked Dallas. Of course, we could all talk all day about that horrific injury to Dak Prescott. I was watching that game when it happened. There's something about the human brain when it sees that particular injury, the broken lower leg, it doesn't compute in your head. You're like, oh, that's not supposed to do that. And in the old days, they would have showed that injury 50 times. They only showed it once or twice, I think, just to ascertain what had happened. I picked Seattle over Minnesota, and it looks like I'm going to miss this Saints-Chargers thing. Although the Saints, powerful offense, they do not have Thomas. He got in an altercation with a teammate, and he's out tonight. So far, I missed 4 of the NFL matchups. It could be 5. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Rosie is happy about the Lakers. She says, old shark teeth killed it for us. He did throw that one terrible pick, and I think he threw a pick 6. We've seen that before from Phillip Rivers. So Morty Vickers says, Rosie loves ankle injuries. Man, that ankle, ouch. Yeah, and thanks, Jerry, for not signing him to a long-term contract. Although a lot of people complaining about it, he did have a couple of nice offers made, and a sticking point was he only wanted a 4-year contract. The Cowboys wanted a 5-year. So, it's like, I don't think anybody's to blame there. I don't think you can really point the finger at anybody too hard there. But he is playing just with the tender offer on the franchise tag right now. And a lot of Cowboy fans very upset about that due to the fact that injury, there's no guarantee he's coming back from that. And if he does, there's no guarantee it'll be next year. It really isn't. I would say that the Cowboys, as poorly as they do some things, they always seem to have a really seasoned backup quarterback, and very lucky to have Andy Dalton, because I think he'll do a fair job, if not better, for them. Major League Soccer is postponed 3 additional games due to the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak within the organization. Major League Soccer announced that just today. So, as well as stinking real bad on the field, the Colorado Rapids managing to, screw it up also off the field. All right, let's get to these games, man, in Major League Soccer. Miami hosting Houston. I took Houston, and I was wrong. Atlanta hosting New York Red Bulls. I'm pretty sure I took Atlanta there, and I was wrong. Vancouver and RSL, I believe I took Vancouver, so I was correct there. And LA and Colorado was postponed. Those games for Saturday. Sunday's games, NYCFC and the New England Revolution. We all know I took NYCFC because I hate the New England Revolution. And guess what? And I was wrong. LAFC and Seattle. Seattle playing better than anyone else going into the game. But I believe I said LAFC couldn't stay on the schneid forever and picked them. And I was right. DC United and the Chicago Fire. I picked DC United to have a bounce with their new coach. And I was wrong. Toronto over FC Cincinnati. I got that one right. Philadelphia over Montreal. I got that one right. I picked SKC, Sporting Kansas City, over Nashville because they are an expansion team. And I also picked Portland and Diego Valeri over San Jose. 2 games postponed. The Orlando, FC United, whatever, over Cleveland. And that was postponed, as was Dallas and Minnesota. So I ended up picking 4 games wrong in both of those leagues. Rosie Williams says, I can watch people breaking bones, but ankles I just can't. Yeah, like I was saying, there's something in the human brain. I played soccer, so I've seen a lot of those lower leg breaks. I saw a guy one time break it in 2 places. His leg made a Z. And you just look at it, and there's just something that doesn't compute, and it gets you a little in the stomach sometimes. The Gordon Haywood thing, obviously the Alex Smith thing, obviously the Joe Theismann thing, and it just does something to the old brain pan. I think that just at a tribal caveman level, we're not used to seeing that. It just doesn't into our brain right. Morty Vickers says, those injuries, you could lose your leg. Compound fractures are very dangerous and damaging. Yes, because there's nerves and blood vessels involved. That dislocation, that's nothing to sneeze at either. So at any rate, thoughts and prayers to Dak Prescott. But he's tough. He's a competitor. He's going to get the best care you can possibly find. And so we hope that he gets to rehab that. Obviously he's done for the season, but we hope he gets to rehab that. Things go well, and that he's back next season. And as I said before, Andy Dalton, look, it's not to say Andy Dalton is not without fault, but compared to other teams, I think Andy Dalton is a pretty darn good backup NFL quarterback. I think they could do a lot worse. So anyway, that's what's going on in the NFL and Major League Soccer. And let's turn now to some other sports stories of the day. I want to pause on one just because it means a lot to me. What that should be right front and center. Now I'm going to have to go to the other page. Still 1-1. Looks like top of the 6th. It looks like the middle now. Well, maybe they're making a pitching change. Yeah, they're making a pitching change. I think they're going to. They're going to a middle reliever. Let's talk a little bit about Joe Morgan. I don't know how many of you have seen any, ESPN documentaries or anything on the Big Red Machine, the Reds, the Cincinnati Reds of the mid to late 70s. I got to watch them a lot, being from Indianapolis. Actually, Indianapolis at the time was the AAA farm club for all those Reds, Johnny Bench and Pete and everybody else that came through on that team. They were with the Indianapolis Indians. But my grandparents lived on the Indiana-Ohio border, so they got Indianapolis stations and they got Cincinnati and Dayton. So we watched a lot of Reds games there. My grandmother was a huge Reds fan. And I got to watch that team, and that team was a thing of beauty. They called it the Big Red Machine for a reason. You had Tony Perez, David Concepcion, you had Gullett and Seaver on the mound, you had Pedro Borbon, you had Johnny Bench behind the plate, you had Pete Rose at third base, in the outfield, you had Ken Griffey, you had, it was just a monster team. And Joe Morgan at second base was an instrumental part of that team. Joe Morgan dies at age 77. Hall of Fame second baseman Joe Morgan, a key member of the Cincinnati Reds' famed Big Red Machine, died yesterday at 77. Died at his home in Danville, California. He struggled with various health issues in recent years, including a nerve condition. Morgan was a 2-time National League Most Valuable Player, a 10-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner. He is widely regarded as one of the best second basemen in baseball history, and he gained renown for his 25-plus years as a broadcaster after his playing career. Morgan spent the majority of his 22-year career with the Reds and the Houston Astros franchise. Along with Pete Rose and fellow Hall of Famers Johnny Bench and Tony Perez, Morgan helped the Reds win back-to-back World Series championships in 75 and 76. Cincinnati also reached the World Series in 72. Morgan's first year with the Reds, they, I believe, lost to the Oakland A's, who themselves were in the middle of a dynasty at the time, in 72. Morgan was the NL MVP in 75 and 76 and was named an All-Star in each of his 8 seasons with the Reds. 271 career hitter with 268 home runs, 1,133 RBIs, 1,650 runs scored, and 689 stolen bases, 11th in baseball history. There were moments of silence held at all of the games today, and he meant a lot to us, to me, a lot to baseball, a lot to African Americans around the country, a lot of players that were considered undersized. He meant a lot to Astros manager Dusty Baker, a longtime friend and National League rival. He was one of the first examples of speed and power for a guy they said was too small to play. Morgan played in the majors in 1963 at first when the Astros were then the Houston Colt 45s. He was traded to Cincinnati in November of 71 as part of an 8-player deal. Played the next 8 years with the Reds. The Red family obviously heartbroken. Morgan spent the 1980 season with Houston, helping the Astros to win an NLS title. Played 2 years with San Francisco, hitting a home run on the final day of the 82 season against the rival Dodgers to knock the defending champions out of the playoffs, and then was later reunited with Rose and Perez in Philadelphia. Morgan hit 2 home runs, in the 1983 World Series, in which the Phillies lost in 5 games to Baltimore, and he tripled in his final at-bat. Raised in Oakland, California, Morgan returned to the Bay Area and played the 1984 season for the Athletics before retiring at the age of 41. He set the NL record for games played at second base and ranked among career leaders in walks. Inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1990, the Reds inducted them into their Hall of Fame and retired his number. He did it all, and he did it all the time, said Johnny Bench. Great father, outstanding businessman, was a friend to so many, and respected by all. Morgan started his broadcasting career in 1985 and worked at ESPN from 1990 to 2010, serving as a member of the network's lead baseball broadcast team. He then was a special advisor to baseball operations for the Reds after that and was a board vice chairman of the Hall of Fame. He was a close friend and advisor to me, said Rob Manfred. He was a true gentleman who cared about our game and the values for which it stands. He's survived by his wife of 30 years, Teresa, their twin daughters Kelly and Ashley, and daughters Lisa and Angela. Funeral details not yet set, and there you are. Joe Morgan, gone at age 77, and he was something to watch. I don't know how many of you remember seeing he had this weird thing he would do with his arm at the plate, and said it was timing. It was a timing thing he used to do. So if you haven't gotten a chance, look up Joe Morgan or the Big Red Machine on YouTube. Watch some videos, and you will see that team was bad business. That team was not to be trifled with whatsoever. Let's see if any scores can be updated here. It is the bottom of what looks like the 6th inning. It's still 1-1. Nobody out. Dodgers at the plate. Nobody on base. And I'm telling you, Fried is really pitching a lights-out ball game. Third quarter in the NFL. Chargers 20, Saints 10 again. Saints with the ball. They have a 1st and 10 on the 25 of New Orleans with 8:17 remaining in the third quarter. So they need to get on the board. Just a 2-score game, and if New Orleans can get a touchdown or even a field goal here, they're making a game out of it, and that's the way it is there. Let's see here. I want to talk a little bit about a UFC thing. Look, one of my favorite UFC moments of all time, and I'm not going to talk about what happened after the fight, was when Khabib dispatched Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor said the most vile, despicable things about his family, and Khabib just saying, we talk later, and then beat the crap out of him and kept going, talk to me now, and McGregor's, it's just business, mate, it's just, man, getting his face pummeled. Well, never say never in combat sports, but it appears that Khabib is done with Conor McGregor. In an exclusive interview with ESPN, Khabib confirmed he nixed any plans of a reboot of The Ultimate Fighter reality series in 2021, which would have featured McGregor and him as opposite coaches. And you know how that would go. McGregor would just be being a tool the whole time. And why does Khabib need to put up with that? Morty Vickers says Joaquin Buckley was the fighter that won Performance of the Night for that kick. Oh, he deserved it. He deserved it. UFC President Dana White revealed those plans to Barstool Sports recently, and Khabib explained why he shot it down. The Ultimate Fighter with him is good attention for him, Khabib told ESPN. I don't want to give him this. I never give him this. Even if they give me $5 billion, even if they give me the UFC, I never do this. This is good attention for him. It's done. Everything is done October 6, 2018. I finish him. I finish everything about him. Is that not the most awesome thing in the world? Because you know Khabib, he ain't whistling Dixie. He means it. And he's right. He finished everything about it. Exposed him for the clown that he is. Khabib will defend his lightweight championship against Justin Gaethje at UFC 254 on October 21st in Abu Dhabi. Should he win, the UFC has repeatedly expressed interest in booking a second fight against McGregor, but Khabib has always been cold to the idea. Morty Vickers says, good for him. Why would he want to promote for a dude that talked crap about his father and family? Yeah, he didn't need to put up with it. He did his talking in the octagon. McGregor is 1-0 since his loss to Khabib. He knocked out Donald Cowboy Cerrone in January and is still in talks with the UFC regarding a potential fight against Dustin Poirier in either late 2020 or early 2021. And he says he doesn't even want to do that. His exhibition, all this, he just keeps talking out of both sides of his face. A rematch between Khabib and McGregor, providing, of course, Khabib defeats Gaethje later this month, would do massive business for the UFC, as it would pit two of its biggest stars against one another in a matchup that has witnessed some infamously bad blood. For the moment, however, it appears Khabib is interested in just about any other challenge than McGregor. I had a new challenge in Dustin Poirier in 2019, and now Justin Gaethje. We'll see who it's going to be next, but I don't think it's going to be Conor McGregor. I love that. I love that. I love how he's just like, nope, don't have any interest in it. And I don't see McGregor at this stage of his career, and given his requisite skills, I don't see him beating Khabib. I don't see him coming close. I think Khabib had more than McGregor expected in stand-up. And on the ground, he's just a pretzel waiting to happen for Khabib. That's one of my favorite sports moments ever. Talk to me now. Talk to me now. You know, I get it. I mean, I like Michael Bisping, but there were a lot of times in the pre-fight run-up with his mouth running. I like Chael Sonnen. But there are a lot of times in the pre-fight run-up, I'd be like, man, you're going places you don't need to go. But I get that it's also part of promotion of the sport. People like to see a grudge match and all that. However, there is something to be said for the fact that you can just piss a guy off too bad. I admit my soccer career, there were one or two times. I mean, I'd normally go out and I'd want to win. I'd want to win bad. I put my heart and soul out on there. But there were a few times where it was personal. And it was like, hey, man, I don't just want to beat you. I want to beat you senseless and make you look stupid while I do it. You know, I want to stick a fork in you. And when that happened, that was better to me than Ronda Rousey and Holly Holmes, and that was big for me. It was huge, but that fight, Rosie says that would be fun to watch. Morty Vickers says Korean Zombie this weekend. Is that a drink? No, I'm kidding. Let's see here. Let me see if we got any updates on those other scores real quick. Not a lot going. I'm telling you, this is the time of year where sports gets a little barren. The Saints did get a field goal. They also still have, they have the ball too at the moment. So Chargers must have gone 4 and out, or 3 and out, whatever you want to call it. It's 4th and 4 right now at the LA 35, unless they simply haven't kicked off yet, and that's the last. I think that's the case. Yeah, that's definitely the case. Let's hit a 53-yard field goal, so they just simply haven't kicked off yet, and the yardage information is the last one prior to the made field goal. Top of the 7th right now, nobody out. Atlanta 1, LA 1 still. Tampa Bay beat Houston today to take a 2-0 lead in the ALCS, and I don't think we could root any harder for Tampa than we are. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. See what else we got here in sports real quick. There is a really good article called Small But Mighty, The Remarkable Career of Joe Morgan. Let's look into Dak Prescott's injury a little bit. Jessica Andre versus Caitlin Chukagian should be good too. We'll get to that in a second here. Maybe a little later in the week we'll get deeply into that card coming up this weekend. On Sunday, a Dallas Cowboy team that was seemingly going through a nightmare season saw its worst fears realized. Third quarter, Pro Bowl Dak Prescott suffered a gruesome ankle injury. You know, it was a gruesome injury, but it was, you know, it wasn't one of those in the pocket, rooted in. He just got rolled, and his foot got caught under somebody. It wasn't that brutal of a hit. It was just a freak accident. Dallas leading 24-23 in the third quarter. It was a quarterback draw. Prescott broke through one tackle attempt and then tried to stiff arm Giants defensive back Logan Ryan. As Ryan dragged Prescott down, the quarterback's ankle got caught underneath Ryan. And when Prescott came out of the tackle, his foot was facing the wrong direction. Nothing malicious or untoward about the tackle or anything that could have been done to prevent it. He is used on a lot of design run plays for the Cowboys. And officially, the Cowboys announced that Prescott suffered a compound fracture and dislocation of his right ankle, which means the bone penetrated his skin as part of the injury. Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen of ESPN reported that Prescott underwent surgery on the ankle Sunday evening. Season is likely over, and the Cowboys will place him on injured reserve sometime this week. By all accounts, Prescott should be able to return, although the injury was unquestionably gruesome. Players across the sports have returned from similar injuries in the past, and they mentioned quite a few that have come back. LaShawn McCoy among them. Alex Smith came back, but Smith's injury was much worse, broken tibia and fibula, and then an infection, 17 surgeries. That should not be the case here. So there you are. That's what's up with Dak Prescott at the moment. Still 1-1. It's the middle of the seventh now. And there you are in the NLDS. Anybody has anything they want me to look into? I surely will. Let's see if we've got anything in the world of Mama. Mama. Sandhagen rocks Moraes with highlight reel TKO. But boy, that to me is not the story of that particular deal. Not even close. That spinning back kick. That's the one. I tell you what, that's the one. Let me see here. This week's against Chavez. Past results. Here we go. No. Here we go. Fight night. Moraes Sandhagen. And we'll go down that particular card. Final Sandhagen TKO kick round 2. 103 into that round. Sandhagen goes to 13-2-0. Moraes 23-7-1. Barbosa beating Amir Kahani, and that was a unanimous decision in 3 rounds. Rothwell losing to Tybura, and that also a unanimous decision. Duplessis beating Perez by a punch in the first round at 3:22, and Aspinall punches, taking down Badeau, and Zalal losing to Tapuria in a unanimous decision as well. In the prelims, Breeze taking down Bular, and that was a TKO, a punch at 1:42 of the first round. Punches saw Dockhouse beating Nascimento. Casagne losing to Buckley on that spinning back kick that was just electrifying. Alquazi losing to Kelly on a unanimous decision. Chikadze beating Morales. Cortez in a unanimous decision over Egger. And Silva, a unanimous decision over Ulanbekov. So those are your results from UFC Fight Night this past Saturday out of Abu Dhabi. There you are. They are. And I'm sure much to follow in this week's event, including Habib against Gaethje. There's a Bellator event. I don't really care about that. There was a KSW 55. There was a Bellator event also Saturday night. I could tell you what happened there, but I don't think you care. So, well, let's just see if maybe there's a name or two in that particular event that some of you might be interested in. Page beating Houston. You know, these dudes that don't even... Oh, Congo losing to Johnson in a split decision. If they don't have a picture, then I can't think you know who they are. Omer beating Scope on punches in 146 of the first round. So there you are. That's what you got coming out of the Bellator event. And let's check on the Saints and the Chargers and see what might be happening there. One down, top of the seventh. Sorry, bottom of the seventh. LA 1, Atlanta 1 still. Chargers with the ball, 2nd and 11, just across midfield at the New Orleans 48. And, there was a fumble. But San Diego recovering their own fumble. So now they've got a 2nd and 11 coming up. Anyway, that's we're getting close to that's all we got tonight in sports. Unless you guys got something you want me to check into. I checked pickleball before the show. Ain't nothing going on in pickleball. Sorry. There's nothing even going on in tomato ball or any of the other fruits and vegetables. What do we got going on here? One down. Looks like, God, it's so hard to see. The Fox's little update score box is just horribly composed. Swing and a miss on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That'll run the count to 1-1. Nobody on for the Dodgers. One down. Top of the seventh. And 94, that's moving and grooving. Stephanie Lindley is showing a brilliant pickle emoji display. Foul ball out of play, 1-2 now. And I guess maybe we'll take you through. Oh, wow, that home run. Boy, it would have been a home run in 30 of 30 Major League ballparks. And, of course, definitely going to be a home run in Arlington, Texas. 1-2, one down. Bottom of the seventh. We'll take you through the bottom of the seventh here no matter what. Pitches delivered. That's going to be low and away. So 2-2 the count, now evened up for the Dodgers. Saints held them again, 20-3. Saints getting the ball back. That does not sound like good news for the Chargers. Please, Saints, come back and win. I missed 4 in each league. That's not terrible. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Not nearly. Not nearly. Payoff pitch, that's fouled away down the third base line. A chopper, and the count will remain 2-2. Bottom of the seventh. Again, nobody on. And, boy, this is a tight one. A real tight one. The old ballpark is still standing right across this parking lot, pretty much, from the new ballpark. I don't know if they're going to knock that down. There's been talks of turning it into condominiums and a million other things, but I imagine they'll end up knocking it down at some point. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and that is going to be, again, fouled off, just chopped behind the plate. Hernandez is working real hard to get the pitch he wants from Fried and get something going for the Dodgers in the bottom of the seventh. 1:23 left in the third. Thank you, Morty Vicker, as the Saints with the ball trying to get something in the end zone and tie things up with the Chargers 20-20. And just next door is also the Death Star. That's another foul ball. He's working the count pretty hard. Is Hernandez? Yeah, the Death Star, what we call Jerry World or the Cowboys Stadium, is right next to the ballpark, and it's all lit up and looking good. There's a Walmart across the street from the Cowboys Stadium on one side, and a lot of people show up and park in that Walmart parking lot for free on game day, because if you want to park where the Cowboys want you to park, another chopper down the third base line goes foul, then you got to pay $75. It might be more now just to park. They do have a little special shuttle that runs to the station and to the stadium, and you can also stand in line. There is a motorcade of taxis that'll take you back to your car, because it's probably cheaper than parking. So 2-2 pitch. Here's the delivery, and that looks like it's going to be a fly ball into left center. They settle under it, and that's the play. Very easily made. So now 2 down, bottom of the 7th, and the Dodgers trying to get a little something going. And, Stephanie Lee says $75. Holy shnikes. Yeah, well, wait till you hear about the $50 pizza they'll sell you. Or the, I think it's $15 for a Black Angus hamburger that tastes like it's already been eaten once. Food not that great. Now, the beer, I'm sure the beer's great. They sell a lot of beer at Cowboys Stadium, especially in those standing room only bars they have at field level. People are just packed into. Let's see here. That's going to be a foul ball for an 0-1 count with 2 down. And Taylor is at the plate as Fried is working on him. Fried going deep into the 7th inning. Only pitcher thus far for the Braves. I believe the Dodgers are into their 3rd pitcher of the night. And with good reason. But they've kept the score tied up at 1, so those are good pitching decisions by Dave Roberts. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Taylor. That is a strike on the inside corner low, but it's in the box. I'm telling you, Fried's had great control all night and a good velocity, and he is pitching a whale of a ball game. Stephanie Lindley's laughing at $75 for parking. It is comical. I wouldn't pay it. I live 3 miles away. I just walked it. 0-2 count. He throws a heater outside, well outside. That'll take the count to 1-2. Oh, it's Martin on the plate now. Well, I'm stupid. Well, they both have that scraggly looking facial hair. How can you tell anymore? Morty Vickers says explosive. That's very explosive. The Wolf loves the term explosive. It gets used so much in sports. Well, he's explosive. Got quick feet, agile. He's a speed merchant and a crowd favorite. 1-2 pitch, 2 down, bottom of the 7th. That's straight down the middle, swing and a miss, and the Dodgers go down without a peep in the 7th as Martin strikes out Taylor. That's going to do it until the top of the 8th. You guys can probably watch that at home. Let's check in on the Chargers and the Saints. And now the Chargers have the ball. It's 4th and 11. I'm refreshing. End of the 3rd, 1st and 10 on the New Orleans 37. And New Orleans has the ball. I believe that's going to do it for us tonight. Oh, wait a minute. We've got a quote here. Stephanie Lindley said, I had a VIP box at home Minnesota Wild game several years ago. The food was incredible and unlimited, and beer was ice cold. That was a fun game. Yeah, it's great. I used to go to Fort Wayne Tin Caps games, and the food there was amazing. They had 3 or 4 little mini restaurants there in the park, and it was just so good. Morty Vickers says, I think I'm more excited for the Jessica Andrade, why can't I get that pronounced? And Caitlin Chukagian fight this weekend. Sorry, Rented Lips. Morty Vickers says, I do like Zombie, though. Well, it's a coming. It's a coming. I'm enjoying the Major League Baseball playoffs this round. I want Tampa to destroy Houston, and I'd really like to see the Dodgers get through. And we'll see what happens there. The NFL is getting a little more interesting every week, like it traditionally does throughout the season. And MLS continues to be schizophrenic in the bubble. And the addition of the Wednesday games has made things very interesting. Real Salt Lake continues to make bad decisions at the striker position. Douglas Martinez, he should just not be playing unless he comes on at the end of the game. And I don't know why you'd bring him on then. He has no acceleration. He can't beat people off the dribble. His shot isn't particularly good, and he's a bad passer. And then if you take him out and put that straight-up punk Corey Baird in, you're not getting it. Corey Baird, you might as well not even know he's on the field. You get nothing out of him. So they got to figure that out. Whether they want to go with a few more attacking midfielders, I don't know what they want to do, but they are in big trouble unless they start winning some games. But at any rate, I think that's going to do it for us tonight on the Sports Spectacular. I can't tell you, Morty Vicker, Rosie Williams, Stephanie Lindley, how much I deeply appreciate you guys showing up. It's basically just us every night until some people find out about this, or more appropriately, find out about it and actually like it. But until then, man, we'll keep doing it. We'll keep doing it, and we'll keep trying to make all your sports dreams come true as best we can. We'll keep running account on the food preparation at the Williams household, which is of high interest to us here on the program. And we'll see what we can do. Oh, that big bushy redhead is pitching right now for the Dodgers. Ozuna at the plate. He's got 2 groundouts and a line out tonight, and he chops a wicked-looking, ugly foul ball down the third base line. You can't even tell the guy's name because the red hair is covering up his name. I don't like ridiculous hair or facial hair. Rosie Williams says, thanks, Tom. You're doing a great job. I'm doing the best that I can. There's a pitch low and dropping. The table drops out on that one at 87 miles an hour, and it's a swing and a miss. 0-2 count now. Nobody down in the top half of the 8th inning. That had some wicked outside motion on it, too. There's a shot, and it is over the center fielder's head, bouncing off the wall. Throw coming into the cutoff man, and that's probably going to go for... Is it a double? It looks like, I can't quite tell. Yeah, it is a double. So the Braves got something working in the top of the 8th with nobody out and Ozuna doubling. Yeah, he got all of that one. Yeah, I got to tell you, for an 0-2 pitch, that I don't like that pitch at all. I would have made him chase 1 or 2, but that was a little bit of a gapper hit right in front of the warning track. Just to the left of center field. There's no way he was going to get to it. It was not what I would call a rope, but it was hit sharply out to that area. It wasn't much height on it at all. So with that runner in scoring position, the big redhead looks the runner back, goes, and boy, he's got another wicked off-speed pitch. And that's a swing and a miss. Anyway, Sideshow Bob, says Rosie Williams. Oh, dear me, man. It's Arnaud at the plate. D'Arnaud is at the plate. Or Darnad, or what, I don't know how they pronounce it. They always got a stupid way to pronounce their name. Look at that guy. That big redheaded. He looks like the guy in the Cher movie about the kid with the elephantitis. Okay, there's a shot to third base. He looks the runner back at second, guns him down at first. So 1 down, runner still in scoring position. All right, Rosie says good hit. It was a good hit. All right, folks, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. Really appreciate you being here. We'll see you tomorrow night again. Until then, all we can say is good night and good sports.